What is going on, everybody? Flex Hoops here. In this video, we'll be going through a tier list ranking of the most watchable NBA teams for the upcoming 2022-23 NBA season. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, holla at me in the comments section. Let me know which teams you're going to be tuning into this upcoming season. Simply put, this doesn't have a whole lot to do with how good a team is, but I will say if a team is good, they're at least middle of the pack watchable. So there are a few factors in play here. Obviously, the talent of the roster, the team's play style, but also looking and paying attention to the various storylines, whether that's a new guy on the team, a guy coming back from injury, whatever it is. It's all pretty subjective. But if you're more of a casual fan, this should help guide you in figuring out which games are most worth tuning into this season. So let's just get right into it. I'll just go in order here. Starting with the Milwaukee Bucks, I'm going to put them in must-see TV, mostly because of Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know they didn't make a whole lot of changes going back from last season, but Giannis is probably the best player in the entire league right now. He's worth the price of admission himself, and the Bucks are always competitive and always a great regular season team. Next, the Brooklyn Nets is very tricky for me to actually place them. Kyrie Irving and KD, obviously two of the most skilled players in the entire league. But at the same time, I feel like they kind of need to earn my respect back after a pretty disappointing season. I won't be a hater, though. I'm going to put the Nets in great, mostly because Kyrie Irving is just so spectacular to watch. KD is a bucket, automatic. And it'll be interesting to see how they mesh with Ben Simmons, assuming he actually suits up and plays basketball. All right, New York Knicks. The mid three, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and Jalen Brunson. I'm going to put them in watchable. I won't put them in technically still basketball because they should be a pretty solid team. It's just they don't have a ton of athletes, not a very exciting brand of basketball. But there is that one storyline going for them, even though Jalen Brunson was their big splash, which is kind of sad. Anyway, moving on to the Toronto Raptors. I'll also put them in watchable. Raptors are very highly switchable, long and athletic team. Not a whole lot of movement from the roster coming from last year, but they're always competitive. They're always very scrappy, defensive-minded team. Fred VanVleet is exciting. Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby. Year 2 of the Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes. The whole crew should be a pretty good team, but I can't put them any higher than watchable. Utah Jazz just traded everybody, and you can't watch draft picks play, so I'm going to put them in technically still basketball. If you see the Utah Jazz get any kind of nationally televised games, just go ahead and turn that off and read a book or something. Houston Rockets. I was going to put them in technically still basketball, but I'm going to put them in watchable as well. They have the second overall pick, Jabari Smith. Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are inconsistent but exciting. KJ Martin treats every game like it's a dunk contest. Pretty young team. Not a whole lot else going for them otherwise. But, yeah, Rockets, you could go either way on that. New Orleans Pelicans. Okay. Must-see TV. Let's chill. I'm gonna put them in great. Zion Williamson is coming back, and the reason why I didn't put them in must-see TV and why I was so hesitant is, for some reason I feel like Zion is gonna tone back some of those high-flying dunk type of athletic plays, and he'll also probably be load managing a lot throughout the season, just in the sake of health and keeping him throughout the entire season. That's what's most important anyway. But Zion is obviously worth the price of admission. If he can return back to Duke form or hoop mixtape high school Zion, then I will happily revise this and put them up into must-see TV. Brandon Ingram is also an all-star. CJ McCollum, one of the most aesthetically pleasing bucket getters in the league, very underrated. I'm going to put the Pelicans in great tier, but I might revisit this one. All right, Los Angeles Lakers. This is tough for me. This is really, really difficult for me because LeBron James is in year 20. I have to watch LeBron James because who knows how many more years we have left to actually appreciate this man. We'll have to also see how AD bounces back. Lakers kind of need to earn my respect back from a lot of terrible, terrible games that did not deserve to be on national TV last year. Every time Russell Westbrook hit the side of the backboard, a little piece of me just died. But they're still going to be on national TV, so regardless of how good the actual basketball product is, they'll be there. It'll be interesting to see how Westbrook meshes in with Patrick Beverly, see how AD bounces back, and then this will probably be one of the last years of actually seeing LeBron still looking like LeBron. So let's put Lakers in. Let's place them in good. Chicago Bulls. It's sad. It's kind of weird for the Bulls because the rest of the East is improving around them. Meanwhile, they just kind of picked up Andre Drummond. And that definitely doesn't help your watchability. I just think compared to all the other Eastern Conference teams, they should be a playoff team. They should be maybe the 8 or 7 seed. Someone in the comments section, tell me what the heck is going on with Lonzo. Why is he not healthy yet? I'm going to put the Bulls in watchable. Zach LaVine is exciting. DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range assassin and always steps up in the clutch. Outside of that, not too much going for them. Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay, so I'm personally really excited to see how the Gobert experiment works. But more importantly than Gobert, who is, as we all know, not an offensive threat, Anthony Edwards is an emerging superstar in this league, and I think he's ready to make that leap this season. We need to watch Anthony Edwards. He's worth the price of admission. We get to see Cat full-time at the power forward now, launching like 10 threes a game. I'm going to put the Wolves in great tier. Portland Trailblazers, Damian Lillard, I'm sorry, you can't save this team's watchability. I'm going to have to put them in. I'll revisit this. I'm going to put them in technically still basketball. Denver Nuggets. Okay, I'm going to put the Nuggets in must-see TV because, one, Nikola Jokic is the 2-time MVP, but he actually has helped this year. The return of Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray. Nuggets will be super formidable in the West. They should be title contenders. All this time I've been hearing out, oh, Jokic doesn't have any help, and that's why he's the MVP, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, that big three of Jokic, Porter Jr., and Murray, that is a top-tier big three. Oklahoma City Thunder. If Chet Holmgren were playing, that would add some excitement to their games, but unfortunately they're just kind of the same team as last year. So they have Shai Gilgeous. They don't even have the thin towers. They have Alexei Pokashevsky. I really like Josh Giddey. It's kind of like an awkward play style, but it's very effective. Lou Dort. Who else is on that team? Isaiah Roby. I'm forgetting the young guard who's kind of shifty, has that nice step back, but I don't know. I'm not getting up for any Thunder games. Memphis Grizzlies, top tier must-see TV. So the Grizzlies caught a lot of teams by surprise last year, from my point of view. But this year, teams are going to take them seriously. They're going to really show out. And the Grizzlies, they've been talking real spicy over the past, basically ever since they got eliminated. They've been talking real spicy, so we're going to have to see how they respond to that. Dallas Mavericks. So they lost Jalen Brunson. They picked up Christian Wood. It's basically just Luka Doncic, who is enough to make your team a great watch. San Antonio Spurs. Sorry, Spurs. Phoenix Suns. Okay, so the Suns, they don't have that top tier superstar talent. They don't have a lot of athletes who are guaranteed to make the highlight reel, but the Suns are just good, solid, quality, balanced basketball. Always a good watch. So I'm going to put the Suns in good. Los Angeles Clippers. Must-see TV. Must-see TV for sure because Kawhi is back with PG and the addition of John Wall. We got to see how that big three turns out because the Clippers are looking legit. They could be one of the top contenders in the West, and I really am excited to see because it's all been theoretical. The Paul George and Kawhi experiment hasn't returned any kind of results. People are saying that they're basically a better version of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but JT and JB got further than these two, so we'll have to see if they can put it all together. I'm rooting for John Wall as well. Golden State Warriors, defending champs, put some respect on it. Must-see TV. Healthy Klay Thompson throughout the entire season and instead of just in the middle of the season. Steph Curry is still Steph. You got to watch the Warriors, man. It's truly special. Detroit Pistons. So before you trash the Pistons, they have one of the most exciting young cores in the entire league. So they just drafted 2 exciting rookies, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren. They add a lot of athleticism. They're going to get some highlight plays. But they have Cade Cunningham, who is one of the most underrated, slept-on young stars in the game. He is a franchise player, and I'm excited to see the leap that he takes in his second year. So I'm going to put the Pistons in good because they're still not going to win a lot of games, but they'll at least be exciting to watch. Sacramento Kings. Keegan Murray can't save you, buddy. De'Aaron Fox, sorry. Technically still basketball. Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cavs, obviously, they have Evan Mobley. They have Jared Allen. They have Darius Garland, who's one of my favorite players in the entire league. Just he's like the new generation of Chris Paul. Shout out to my boy Quan for making that comparison. And then they picked up Donovan Mitchell. We got to put the Cavs, at least in great tier. I might move them up one. But let's put the Cavs in great because they were already a very good competitive playoff team last year, and they just picked up Donovan Mitchell. Screw it. Let's put them in must-see TV. Boston Celtics. So the defending Eastern Conference champions are one of the best teams in the entire NBA. They have an excellent defense. They just picked up Malcolm Brogdon. They have Danilo Gallinari now, who I'm not sure if he's going to miss the entire season, but he adds some nice wing depth and some nice size to their bench. Malcolm Brogdon will actually help the Celtics offense flow a lot better, which was not necessarily their strong point. So I'm going to put the Celtics in great because they are a defensive-minded team, but they're still a great team, and they have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, one of the most dynamic offensive duos in the entire league. Philadelphia 76ers. So I'm a Sixers fan. Obviously, this is must-see TV to me, but I'll put them in great because Joel Embiid, if you're not hip, just watch him. It doesn't even make sense, the stuff that he's capable of doing. It's really, really, really special. And with a guy who's so big but so injury prone, you just never know how much longer he's going to be able to play at this level. Tyrese Maxey is a young stud, young emerging star in this league. We'll have to see how James Harden bounces back after a pretty disappointing playoff showing. But the main reason they're not in must-see TV is because I acknowledge Harden and Embiid, they flop a lot. They take a ton of free throws. They call them the free throw bros for a reason. So I'm going to put the Sixers in great. Unless you just absolutely love 80% free throw shooting. Charlotte Hornets. So Miles Bridges is gone. I assume he's not going to play a single game for them this season for obvious reason. LaMelo Ball is not enough to help you get more than a watchable rating. So that's where the Hornets go for me. Washington Wizards, Rui Hachimura, Bradley Beal. Who else do they have? Daniel Gafford, Kyle Kuzma. They picked up Monte Morris as well. Danny Advia, I'd be interested to see how he takes his leap, but no, that's not going to cut it. Orlando Magic. So they have the number 1 pick, Paolo Banchero. They also have Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Mo Bamba, Franz Wagner. I really like this team. I'm not looking at any kind of list right now. I'm doing this all from memory and real time. That sounds pretty exciting to me. I'm going to put the Magic in good tier because I'm excited to see how those guards, how they figure out the guard depth, that pecking order, and Paolo Banchero should only help. Didn't they release Bobo? Oh, you know what? Remember Jonathan Isaac? I haven't heard from him since, the bubble. Is he even playing anymore? Anyway, Miami Heat. So not even Heat fans show up to the Heat game, so this is tough for me to personally sort. I'm going to put the Heat... I'll put the Heat in good because they are a very good basketball team. They are Eastern Conference contenders, but I just don't know, man. When Heat games, they don't really have that top-tier superstar talent. Play a defensive-minded brand of basketball. This is the best I can do. I love Jimmy Butler, though. Atlanta Hawks, so the Hawks just picked up DeJounte Murray. That should help the Hawks out east. John Collins is still there. He's a lob threat with Trae Young, who's going to be launching 30-foot bombs all day. I'm going to put the Hawks in great because they have a new look, clearly trying to contend now. So let's put the Hawks in great. Indiana Pacers, the middiest of the mid. I feel like if someone asked me to name all 30 teams in 1 minute, I would for sure forget the Pacers. Rounding us all off with technically still basketball. So that's about it, y'all. These are my must-see TV games. Whenever you see any of these 6 teams playing, make sure you tune in. And if you see any of these 6 or 7, just turn it off and go watch tennis. Thanks for watching, y'all.